The Mario Rosenstock Podcast. Thanks to Hum. Finance made easy when you shop tech, electrical, appliances, kitchens and much more. Flexify Europe Limited, trading as Hum, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Coming up on this episode of the Mario Rosenstock Podcast.
And she wrote me a little letter, Mario, whenever I headed off to seminary. And in the letter, she says, Frankie, look, I could understand it if you had left me for another woman, but God just takes the biscuit.
Great excuse. Frankie, I have to hand it to you for your excuse. Some people go, it's not you, it's me. You go, it's not you, it's Jesus. Some people lead extraordinary lives that take turns you could possibly never predict, and sometimes they couldn't predict them either. And my special guest on this episode is one of those people. Frank Diamond grew up on a farm in South Derry. He won an All-Ireland club medal with Lavey, and at 18 decided to become a missionary priest. He went on to spend 9 years in Africa, living and working in some of the most remote communities imaginable, while somehow continuing to play competitive Gaelic football along the way. Then, at 40, Frank left the priesthood and began an entirely new chapter: marriage, fatherhood, heartbreak, reinvention, and ultimately a new calling, working in mental health and suicide prevention. It's been some journey, full of extraordinary experiences and some wonderful stories, and we get to hear some of the best of them on this episode of the Mario Rosenstock Podcast.
And I knew I needed to get her to that hospital, a 1 hour drive away. So I packed her into the back of the Land Rover, set sail. 10 minutes from arriving at the hospital, she gave birth to the baby in the back of my Land Rover. Some crack! They all then gather around the fire at night and they bring out the goat skin drums and they start bum-ba-da-bum-ba-da-bum. So I get up and I join in for about a crack. I do an old chicken dance, a couple of things. Sure, they're bursting their sides laughing at this big white man trying to dance and speak their language with a County Derry accent. And for 3 years, it was a matter of going into the change room, taking off the collar, hanging it up, Mario putting on the Glen jersey, but I brought the lads all in for a prayer. I finished off the prayer, like, may God bless us, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, amen. And then I would go, right lads, let's get out of there. And I'll not tell you what I said.
I know, like the priest going, Lamb of God, you take away the sins of the world, have mercy on us. Lamb of God, let's get fucking stuck in, lads! My full chat with Frank Diamond coming up in just a few minutes' time. But first, well, as you know, Trump is coming to Ireland in September. Big deal, isn't it? And he's got a few ideas for how to make the most of it. We got exclusive access to one of the many voicemails he's been sending Micheál Martin lately.
Good evening, Micheál. This is President Donald J. Trump. As you know, I am visiting your country to visit my beautiful golf course, one of the greatest golf courses in the world, of fantastic links. And I'm going to be coming soon, and I've got some great news for Ireland. We're going to make Ireland great again, but only if certain conditions are met. Beautiful country, incredible country. It's got so much potential. We're going to make Ireland great again, Michael, but I'm willing to invest very substantially, huge money, big, billions, maybe trillions. Nobody knows, but there are certain conditions. One, I'm going to put Gianni Infantino. He's a great guy. You saw him FIFA. We had the World Cup football. You call it soccer. The GAA. I'm going to put Gianni in charge of the GAA, make it a private company. Croke Park will be renamed Truth Social Stadium. Halftime, we're going to extend to 2 hours and feature special performances, great entertainment, Kid Rock, Lee Greenwood, Justin Bieber. I don't like Canadians, but, you know, he's a good guy. Maybe even the Wolf Toads. They're mad. They're crazy. Beautiful people. I love the mustaches. I don't know them, but I'm told they're very popular, certain people. And we're changing the All-Ireland because you call it the All-Ireland, and America isn't even allowed to enter. Very unfair. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Good evening, Micheál. It's President Trump again. Also part of my condition, sorry, but these are new ones. Environmentalists and nature lovers like Scummy John Gibbons, Derek Moody, and the entire Green Party will be publicly arrested by ICE. ICE officials will be on hand in Ireland and be relocated to a secure facility in New Mexico until further notice. Thank you. This is President Donald J. Trump. Countdown to my arrival. And I also want to host, by the way, I didn't tell you this, but I want to host the Rose of Tralee with Dathy O'Shea. Good guy, handsome guy. But nobody knows more about handsome than me. I'm probably the most handsome, but he needs help. I've always had a rapport with beauty queens. You know that. I owned a beauty queen. I owned a pageant. I've been backstage. I believe it's high time to have some real star power. A star on the INDC stage where you can do what you want. Want to make the Rose of Tralee great again. We're going to host it. Beautiful.
And exclusive new comedy every week on the Mario Rosenstock Podcast. And of course, you can contact me directly, mariorosenstock@gmail.com. Any comments at all, flattery, positivity, constructive criticism, new guests that I could have, sketches that you'd like to see me do, characters that I haven't done that you'd like to see me try, get in touch, mariorosenstock@gmail.com. And if you can, just tell one other person to follow and that you liked this episode. As ever, we'd like to thank Hum for supporting the Mario Rosenstock Podcast. Our partners, Hum, fantastic partners in the podcast field. Hum is a finance company who provide flexible payment solutions for customers of some of Ireland's most popular retailers. They can help you make your purchases and pay back in bite-sized, easy payments. Hum make it easier for you to shop, and they also make it easy for you to listen to this show, because with their support, we can continue to bring you this podcast for free. We don't charge. It's not a premium podcast. We bring it to you every week. Thank you, Hum. And if you like it, all we ask is that you press the follow button on Apple or Spotify or whatever platform you're listening to, and spread the word by telling one other person about the show. Maybe you'll tell them about a recent interview with Craig Doyle, Lucy Kennedy, or Dermot Bannon, or perhaps it was one of the new and exclusive comedy sketches that you get every week at the start of the episode. Whatever you enjoyed, we'd really appreciate if you told someone about it. Spread the word. So, as I mentioned at the start of the show, Frank Diamond has led a genuinely extraordinary life. He's been a priest, a missionary, a chaplain, would you believe, to Brian Kerr's football team, father, husband, the list goes on. It's an incredible story, and we started our chat at the very beginning.
I originally come from Lavey in South Derry, and I had my childhood all there, reared on a pig and cattle farm. And GAA was the passion of the time back. It's in my blood. It was in my family's blood, and the background is all around the GAA there. Went to school in St Mary's, Maherfelt, and great school. Enjoyed my time there, and I suppose then you hopefully understand my accent okay.
Oh, I was about to say, you've got that lovely chocolatey, buttery, almost sort of veering into Donegal accent. Yes. I suppose there's up there, like James McLean would have a much harder Derry accent.
That's right, he's from the city.
And you have that nice soft.
We would be South Derry.
Yeah, South Derry.
So we moved from Lavey to Balahi actually, and that's where Seamus Heaney was born and reared and is buried. Yeah. So he's kind of put us on the map up that side. Yeah. And I literally lived just down the road, so he did, mighty man. And so then when I turned 18, finished there, and I suppose, as we all do, you make a choice whether, I was thinking about...
Did you do your leaving?
At the A-levels in the north.
Oh yeah, okay.
Equivalent to the leaving here. And I was thinking about maybe doing physiotherapy or priesthood. And missionary priesthood.
And the priesthood is a thing. All my life I've been hearing about people who I've seen in entertainment and all of that going, so you are a man that goes, Gabriel Byrne. That's right, but I wanted to join the priesthood first. Sorry, you did join the priesthood. Or Liam Neeson. That's right. I joined the priesthood when I was 8. Or I wanted to be a priest. You wanted to be a priest? Or, Tommy Tiernan. I wanted to be a priest. And you're just going like, all these people who had this issue in their mind of wanting to be a priest, and then they go out to be comedians and actors. Why did you want to be a priest?
I suppose first and foremost, was that call to serve others. And
you've got to explain that to me. What's that?
I've always wanted to help people.
Okay.
Always. And my faith, obviously, I have a strong faith. It was reared, being from the north of Ireland, Gaelic in the north is part of your identity. It's just part of GA. It's all part of who you are up there. So, yeah, I would say it is stronger in the north maybe than the south. And when I was at school, my favourite subject was PE, actually, first of all, PE, because the football and all that stuff. But RE, and for two reasons. The first reason, I had a really cool teacher, a guy called Jerry Mains from Cookstown, Tyrone. And he was just that teacher I had a connection with. And everybody can think of such a teacher.
I do, and we often do. I had an English teacher in third and fourth year who led me into the whole area of acting.
Brilliant. Yeah. So Jerry, he actually studied for the priesthood for a bit too, and then left and got married. But he was just, I had a connection with him. And I loved hearing the crack about this guy called Jesus, right? Now, I called him JC for short, not Johnny Cash, although he was a bit of a legend when it came to music. But it was the way that Jesus connected with people that I was intrigued by as a young lad. And whenever you think about it, Mario, for me anyway, whenever you think about it, he never left anybody out. He connected with the poor, the homeless, the lonely, the refugees, the lepers, the outcasts in society, those who support Liverpool. I'm Man United, say nothing. Dave would enjoy that one. Yeah. Anyway, but he brought them all on board, and he just said to them, give them like a big hug, and he says, "You rock, come join the JC team." And when I reflect on that, that's the gift of inclusiveness. Mm-hmm. And for me, that's a powerful gift to have, not to leave anybody out. And I always ask the question to folk that I'm speaking with, are you an inclusive person, or do you leave certain people out? Would you exclude someone because of the colour of their skin, because of their nationality, whether they're Irish or British? In the north of Ireland, that one always goes down well. Whether they say Derry or Londonderry. I have to work on that one. Whether they... what their sexual orientation is, with funny tattoos, and you make a judgment straight away, or can you say, no, you know what, Frankie D, I include everyone. And that's a great gift, you know.
So you saw this, you saw Jesus not necessarily as a abstract, faraway figure, but as a living folk figure, a person who you understood existed, that you could picture in your mind's eye as just being a great dude.
Exactly. That's it. And a great role model. And I was intrigued by his lifestyle, the way that he lived his life. And I suppose at a young age, God, I says, I would try to follow that example that he left. I mean, you talk now of life coaches and things like that. For me, he was the greatest life coach. Mm-hmm. When you look at all the different things that he said in such a humble way, and there's different teachings. Sure, if we followed those and that kind of inclusiveness and reaching out and embracing people and that connection with others, that's what it's all about for me in life. Yeah. It's not about the big car, it's not about the big house, it's not about how many All-Ireland medals you have, it's not about how many letters are after your name. For me, life is about connection. Okay, so you at 18 you decided, I'm going to become a priest. What happens then? You go into a seminary for a few years? So it was the missionary group I joined. They would have ran summer camps, and I met missionary priests from Ireland that worked there, and I was intrigued by their stories. Studied St. Patrick's and Columbanus, St. Paul, the different missionaries. So again, that whole thing of being sent and going out to places where they haven't heard the good news of Jesus before. So that intrigued me to that kind of sense of adventure. So I joined. I suppose I gave God first choice. I was thinking of physio, but I says, you know what? I didn't want to go through life, Mario, wondering what if. What if I hadn't went down the route? I says, well, maybe God, that's where I should have went. And at least I gave God first choice. And I was actually going out with a girl at the time. So how to break that off.
What an absolute clanger that is over Netflix and chill.
Oh, cheapers, bro.
I have a bit of news. And she thinks, oh, here comes the ring. And he says, like, no, I'm going out with a man. His name is JC. I'm going off with a fella. And he's not, you know.
Yeah.
So that must have been an absolute clanger for her.
It was. And she wrote me a little letter, Mario, whenever I headed off to seminary. And in the letter, she says, Frankie, look, I could understand it if you had left me for another woman, but God just takes the biscuit.
Great excuse. Frankie, I have to hand it to you for your excuse. Some people go, it's not you, it's me. You go, it's not you, it's Jesus.
I just last wee thing in the letter.
It's almost like a Tommy Tiernan routine. That is, you know, like
it's true.
Yeah.
It is. But she had a poem in the letter, and it was the first time I ever came across the poem by Robert Frost. The road less travelled.
The road less travelled.
Two roads diverged in a yellow wood.
Sounds like a very intelligent woman.
Long I stood and looked down both, but chose the one less travelled by.
Did you stay in touch with her?
Yeah, we're still in touch. Yeah.
Very good. At the same time now, before I get carried away here, so we've decided now that your brain is gone, you're going to Jesus, you're going to join, you become a missionary, follow Columbanus and St. Patrick and all these great missionaries, and all the Irish missionaries who went before out to the Caribbean and out to Argentina and all this sort of stuff. We're doing great work in Africa. But you were also very attached to Gaelic football at the time, wasn't it? Weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
And you were good at it, and you were in a big team, weren't you? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I was very, very blessed to have won an All-Ireland senior club medal with Lavey back in the day in 91. So I was the youngest in the squad.
Yeah.
So that was brilliant and very blessed. And
what position did you play?
Centre half back.
Yeah.
So anywhere in the back line. But I was a sub for that one because I was the youngest. I had just turned 18.
Yeah.
But just to be part of all that there was amazing. And I was in the seminary actually.
Yeah.
And I had to ask special permission to get up for the final.
Okay. Was Mickey Hart around the scene at that time?
No. It was
pre-Mickey Hart.
Pre-Mickey Hart.
Yeah. Because you look very young. I won't ask you what age you are, but you look very young. So you're very attached to football, but then and then is the football going to have to take a back seat then if you become a missionary? Like,
yeah. It did in many ways. However, thankfully, when I went to St. Patrick's University, Maynooth, I was able to continue the football there and played with the Sigerson Gaelic team there. Had 2 summers in America playing Gaelic football, Young Ireland's Philadelphia, and still playing club football when I was at home. But you couldn't make the same commitment.
So is this when I see in my notes from Patrick, and he goes, so essentially he was one of the only, at one stage, the only Catholic priest playing Gaelic football?
Yes. That is correct. I worked in Africa for 9 years as a missionary, and then I was invited to come home to work in youth ministry, and I was in Drummondtown outside Newry, running summer camps and going around schools and all of that youth work. But there's a Gaelic football team there, Glen. Yeah. And I was still playing, and I joined them, and for 3 years it was a matter of going into the change room, taking off the collar, hanging it up, Mario putting on the Glen jersey, but I started a prayer before every football team I was involved in, brought the lads all in for a prayer. I finished off the prayer, like, may God bless us, Father, Son and Holy Spirit, amen. And then I would go, right lads, let's get out of there. And I'll not tell you what I said.
I know, like the priest going, Lamb of God, you take away the sins of the world, have mercy on us. Lamb of God, let's get fucking stuck in, lads.
Okay, I'm glad you said that.
Right? Or else you just hold up the Sam Maguire. You hold up the Sam Maguire. Jesus gave the Sam Maguire unto us, and he said, Lavey, let it be good. Let us not offer each other the sign of peace to those bastards. So you were a priest, and did you do the odd prayer in the dressing room and stuff? And they would go,
yeah, absolutely.
They go, Frankie, give us an old prayer there. Frankie, it's 1-8 to 2 points down at half time. We need a fucking big Hail Mary here. Down on your knees, you bollocks. What? I mean, surely there was the odd prayer, yeah?
Oh, yeah. No, as I say, every game when I played with Sigerson Football in Maynooth, all the clubs I've been involved in. Yeah. Yep.
Would some of the opposition be afraid to hit you hard?
No, definitely.
Would they not be afraid of going to...
Some of them would even go to town.
Oh, Jesus.
A few experiences where lads try to take me out, for some strange reason. However, my teammates all come in to look after Father Frankie.
Like your angels.
Yeah.
The angels on your shoulder.
That was my team, they were my apostles.
So your opposition were basically going, take God out of it, and we've got these lads. Look, fuck's sake, it's easy, right? One lad is God. The other lads are worth nothing. If we take down Diamond, right, it's over. That's mad. Must have been weird playing against a priest. Just an anecdote for you, actually. Two things, just because I like to try and relate people's lives in some bizarre way to mine.
Yes.
So I went to a Catholic boys' brothers' school, and it was in the 70s and 80s. Mm-hmm. And there was a little bit of abuse. Now, I don't mean necessarily, I'm not talking about sexual abuse. In fact, I didn't see any. But there was good bit of physical abuse, the leather and all that.
Yep.
And there was a lot of they felt they had, some of the brothers, they felt they had license to give you a box. And there was one lad, I won't mention him, but I'll call him Oisín, not his real name. And he wasn't as, let's say, switched on as the rest of us. And he was dossing, and the priest came down, this brother. This brother played serious Gaelic football, right? And he used to wear the black robe. Mm-hmm. And he was about 6'4" now. And he played serious Gaelic football for an inter-county team. I won't mention them. But he was a brother. And he used to ask the inevitable question to Oisín. Oisín, he used to spot him and he'd go, Oisín. Oisín go, what, sir? Have you ever seen the Tower of London? And we would say to Oisín, no, you've never seen. Or yes, you've never seen the Tower. Yes, you have. And he'd go, no, I haven't. Oh, Jesus. We go, Oisín, would you like to see the Tower of London? And we go, no, don't. You don't want to see the Tower of London. And he'd go, Oisín would go, yeah, I do. Oh, Jesus. Your man came down, lifted him up by the ears into the air. Lifted him up in the ears like the chalice. Do you know what I mean? So it was horrific at times for people. The other missionary thing I wanted to share with you was I used to be in Glenroe, right, this soap opera. Mm-hmm. And I'd get my script every week for the doctor. And of course, you'd always jump the page and go, where's my bit? You know, so page 72. And I remember after a year I was in this, I jumped to page 72. Oh, Jesus, there it is. David, I was called David. I'm so sorry to hear you're going to the missions in Tanzania. And I'm reading about myself being sent to the missions in Tanzania, which of course in RTE terms is, you're out. Because in 1992, there's no coming back from the missions in Tanzania, ever. Mm-hmm. You know, that's 20 years at least. So anyway, that's how I relate to you. But the 20, you then, after with football, you're attached to football, and now you're a missionary. And you get posted to Africa. Mm-hmm. Where to?
I did 4 years in Nigeria, 1 year in Zambia, and 4 years in Tanzania.
Right.
Yeah.
Tanzania. Yeah. And altogether, you spent how long on the missions?
9 years.
9 years.
14 as a priest and 9 in Africa.
14 as a priest and 9 in Africa. And you had some extraordinary experiences in Africa, didn't you? I mean, the people there, the experiences. So tell me about some of the things that really you still remember and carry to this day.
Yeah. Well, I suppose when I look at that time, I learned 4 key tools for life in Africa. And I tie it in with mental health as well, Mario. The first thing I learned is to appreciate the simple things in life. The second one is the power of human connection, community, the team. The third one is gratitude. And the fourth one is the power of living in the moment, the here and now. And where I was based, obviously in Africa, you do have wealthy people, you have all that going on. But I was working in the bush, the back and beyond. For those 9 years, I had no electricity, I had no running water. The toilet situation was just basically a hole out round the back. So the next time you go...
Where would you get your water?
We collect the rainwater, collected it from the roof.
And just save it up?
Saved it up. And then filtered it and boiled it. Yeah. And then for washing in the evening time, a bucket of water. And I had an empty jug, dipped it in, give myself a rinse, rinsed myself off. And that was my own suite for 9 years. Yeah. But I was very blessed to have that because my neighbours, folk all around me in the villages did none of that.
I think you're about to say to me the next time you use the toilet or the bathroom.
Yeah, and you flush that wee bad boy. You thank God. Because there are millions of people in the world today who do not have access to a flush toilet. That's fact. Mm-hmm. Every time I come home to Bly in the holidays, I've been in a flush toilet for about 15 minutes. Yo, happy days. Ka-ching. Flush toilet.
It's like a slot machine.
Simple things.
Jackpot.
Yeah, jackpot. And the welcome you receive when you go out into the villages, tremendous. They'll always kill a chicken for you. Now, they would only get chicken maybe 4 or 5 times a year, special occasions, but they'll kill the chicken for the visitor. After I was fed and watered, I'd have mass in a mud hut church, and sometimes it could take me 4 or 5 hours to reach these villages deep in the bush. So I'd stay out overnight and sleep in a mud hut. And at night time, no electricity. What'll they do for light? They get the fire going. And the big chief and the community, they all then gather around the fire at night and they bring out the goat skin drums and they start bum-ba-da-bum-ba-da-bum. As you know, all Africans are full of rhythm and music. They all know how to shake everything. So I get up and I join in for about a crack. And I'm so white, I'm like a walking torch. It's like the rays are coming out of my head. I do an old chicken dance, a couple of things. And sure, they're bursting their sides laughing at this big white man trying to dance and speak their language with a County Derry accent.
And their language being?
In Tanzania, Swahili.
Swahili.
in Tanzania.
Did you learn to speak Swahili?
Yep.
Is it a totally mad language?
It's not too bad.
Do you mean it has a logic?
Well, a wee bit of one. Aye. No, I wasn't fluent, but I could get by and manage to.
Can you give me a few words like hello?
Yeah. Hello is Jambo.
Jambo. That sounds easy enough to say.
How are you? Habari yako?
Habari yako?
How's the family? Habari Nzuri. Okay. And then I am well, Nzuri Sana.
Okay.
Asante Sana. Thank you.
Yeah, so it doesn't sound... it sounds easier than Chinese.
I wouldn't know much.
Exactly,
Chinese,
like you wouldn't know where to start when you hear Chinese, but I can almost see that there's a structure.
Yes.
And that the consonants and the vowels are there to work with.
Yeah. With just around the fire then, so it's all about trying to connect. So I bring out the old guitar.
Which you can play?
I'm singing and playing.
And when did you learn to play guitar?
In the seminary. Yeah. Believe it or not.
So the old singing priest.
I did.
He is Lord.
Well, I sang that one, but there's of Christy Moore. He's my man. Back home in Derry.
Love Christy.
Oh, yeah. Love Christy.
Yeah.
So, but I'll tell you, when I was in the university, it's an open university, as you know, so you had lads studying for the priesthood, and then you had, students from all over Ireland there. And the lad, our goalkeeper, Paul O'Dowd from Cavan, and I was there, so with 2 acoustic guitars, but every Thursday night we'd play in Cassidy's Roost back then with the guitars, and we were known as Heaven and Hell. Right?
Good name, yeah.
I was heaven because I believed in God and I was studying to be a priest. And Paul, the pod man, he was hell because he was an atheist. He didn't believe at all.
Nice.
Oh, stop the lights.
I like it.
But around that campfire in Africa, I taught the kids back home in Derry. So I've all these kids in Africa singing, "Oh, I wish I was back home in Derry."
Yeah.
Haven't a clue where Derry is.
Or Africans singing, "The town I love so well." That's right, Phil Coulter.
It's a bit harder. The chorus of Back Home in Derry is easier.
Yeah.
But are they happy? Oh, Mario, the happiest people that I ever met in my life were the people in Africa. And I often think back to those.
I know it's a cliche, but they're the poorest people in the world.
Yeah.
And the happiest.
Just the simplest, around the fire, singing, dancing, storytelling, connection, belonging, community. Not a phone in sight. And we need to bring some of that human connection back to Ireland once again. COVID has been a disaster on so many levels, but especially with the phones now. It's the 4th highest addiction in Ireland. And with our younger generation, it's even higher. Yeah.
Absolutely true. Tell me some stories about, I see you around the campfire. I see white men can't jump. I see you jiggling and them laughing. And I see a woman gave birth in your car.
Land Rover. So where I was based in Tanzania, it was a 1-hour drive to the nearest small town called Bariadi. 1 hour. People, obviously, where I was in the bush, I nearly said jungle, was but like the jungle because we had baboons and snakes, all that, all around us. And so they got around by bicycle, and the taxi was a bicycle with a seat in the back. So my Land Rover, a 10-year-old Defender Land Rover by 4-wheel drive. So any time I was travelling in, there was always folk looking for a lift. So I'd pack as many as I could in the Land Rover, sometimes on top. So my record was 16. Some of them had never been in a Land Rover or a vehicle, and what did they do when they got the chance for a lift? Started to sing. They started to sing hymns of thanksgiving. It's like chitty chitty bang bang, driving through the bush.
Really?
But used as an ambulance quite a few times, and sadly a hearse. So one time in particular, I was in the mission house and a heavily pregnant lady came up to the front door and she was in labour, and I knew I needed to get her to that hospital, a 1-hour drive away. So I packed her into the back of the Land Rover, set sail. 10 minutes from arriving at the hospital, she gave birth to the baby in the back of my Land Rover. Some crack. Remember, I was a young fella at the time and a priest.
Yeah.
So I drove as fast as I could. I ran in, got the nurse. The nurse came out, got the baby, umbilical cord, the mother, the whole thing in. And all I could do was say a prayer that everything would be okay.
Yeah.
And thankfully it was. And the mother and baby were fine. So that's grand. A week later, I'm in the mission house. And the next thing I see the lady coming walking up to the front door carrying her newborn baby in this arm and carrying a live chicken tied by the legs in the other. And I thought she was going to hand me the baby. No, the baby. She handed me the live chicken to say thank you for helping out. Mario will never forget it. One of the most humbling moments in my life, because that woman has nothing.
No.
And she came back with the chicken.
And as you've already described, a chicken is gold dust.
Yes,
there.
exactly.
They only get it 3 times a year.
Yeah. And later on that evening, our cook, not me, but our cook, cut the head clean off that chicken, and we had a chicken sandwich. But again, gratitude. And I often remind myself, people, when I talk about gratitude, the way sometimes we say, actually a friend, Jerry Duffy, this is one of his quotes now, great man from Mullingar. Sometimes we say, I have to go to work, or I have to go to school, or I have to go training this evening in a local club. But if you take out the word have and you replace it with the word get, it just changes the whole mindset of how you're thinking. I get to go to work. Hopefully you're working in a nice company. So many are unemployed, etc. I get to go to school. So many people don't have an opportunity of education. I get to go and train on my local club. So many in a wheelchair, have a disability, aren't able. I get to do it. It's a subtle change, but it helps to keep me grounded, so it does.
100%, Frank.
Yeah.
I mean, I do practice this myself. I've told people on this podcast before, I have so much to be thankful for, but the thing is that I am grateful for the very basics in my life. Yeah. My health, for example, being able to breathe cleanly, to be able to walk on 2 legs and with 2 arms, and to be able to play sport, to be able to talk to be able to not get sick so much ever, and to be lucky with health, to have family, to have children that are healthy, goes on and on and on. Yes. Boy, I'm grateful.
Yes.
So, and I do believe it gives you the greatest start to every day.
Definitely, Mario. Without doubt.
And also the greatest ability to spread that to other people, and to also share it with other people, that when somebody's feeling down, you're more in a position to be able to go, no, look at what you've got. Mm-hmm. You got it all already. And then you can and when you believe that yourself, you can make them believe it as well. You can be infectious about it.
Yes.
It's not just a trite, glib expression. You can actually practice it, Yeah. Not that I'm particularly religious or anything, but I do believe in gratitude. Yeah. So I see exactly. Tell me about hope.
Oh, yeah. Hope. When Hope was 4 years of age, she got polio. So unfortunately, that particular area, they didn't have access to the vaccine. So from waist down, paralysed. I met her. Yeah, I met her whenever she was older. But when I met her, she was 23. And every Sunday, she would crawl on her hands and legs, crawling through the dirt on a dirt road to come to Mass to receive communion.
Really?
And actually, the word Eucharist, Holy Communion, another word for it is Eucharist, means thanksgiving, to give thanks.
Yeah.
And to see her crawl up that aisle.
Oh my God. I know, I see
and
it.
the smile on her face after what can we do to try and help Hope? So we got a few bob from back home, and we built a special 3-wheeler wheelchair tricycle.
Which she could get into.
That she could lift herself up to, and the pedals are the handlebars.
Yes.
Got
so it. You do it with your hands, yeah.
You can use that.
And you can develop that muscle, and you can get good at it.
Yeah, and just completely change. She's no longer having to crawl through the dirt.
So the equivalent, this being for her, this is the equivalent of anybody getting an airplane or anything, or being given the gift even of walking again.
Yeah.
So she must have been so happy with this, and of course it's all relative,
Oh yeah, and got love football jerseys. I had full of kit bag with jerseys every time I come home.
Unbelievable.
Aye.
Again, just when you say vaccine, there, it makes my heart drop because of what's happening in the United States with the vaccine disinformation that's being passed around, and you hear, hope, and the people, the millions of people who've received the polio vaccine in this country and in America and in the Western world, and how vaccines are so important for us, and how they're being so they're being so overlooked and disregarded now in America, and African children singing Christy Moore songs. Joxer goes to Nigeria.
That's it. That is it. But my favourite connection story of Africa, Mario, in 1995, I first went out there as a student from Maynooth University for a 1-year pastoral year to Zambia. And it was Christmas Eve. And I was in a mud hut church for midnight mass. So I'm standing at the back with the people, complete darkness. The only light was a little lamp that was connected to the Land Rover outside on a mud altar made out of mud, with the Irish missionary priest there. So I'm there anyway, and the next thing, I suppose, a gremlin. I call negative thoughts and emotions gremlins in the head. The gremlin came into my head of homesickness and a wee bit of loneliness. First time away from home and all the rest. And a tear welled up. And the next thing, a tear just came down my cheek. And at that moment, I kid you not, I felt a little hand hold my hand. And I looked down and there was a little girl of 4 or 5 years of age holding my hand and looking up at me with the most beautiful smile. And straight away, the picture in my head changed. Out went that gremlin and in came the Care Bear. I call the positive ones the Care Bears because of the power of human connection. The power of somebody holding your hand, the power of a smile. And sometimes that's all it takes to help somebody just to get through a tough day, is just a wee smile or a wee pat. And she held my hand during the Mass, and I came out afterwards and I met her mum and dad, and the little girl's name was Joy. How apt, Joy. And I became friendly with the family. And then I finished my year, I came back to Maynooth, got ordained, and then I was sent to Nigeria, but I kept in touch with them. And in Africa, as I'm sure you know, that children have to pay school fees to go to school. So many can't afford the school fees, so unfortunately then they don't get educated. And Joy's family were quite poor, so I sent money out each year to sponsor the school fees. Now, it wasn't a lot of money. So she went through primary school, and then she went through secondary school, and then she went to teacher training college, and she's now a primary school teacher, and she's married, and she's 2 little boys, and one of her little boys is called Frankie.
Ah.
And that's the power of human connection.
It is.
31 years ago.
This is the little girl that looked up at you, held your hand and smiled while you had a tear rolling down your face.
31 years ago.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I always go to midnight mass now and light a candle for Joy and her family each year.
Wow, lovely story. What about, just this in passing, I just wrote down this. I mean, sleeping out in the open, in the darkness, no running water, what about like creepy crawlies, snakes, nasty things, crocodiles, lions, things. I mean, is it not dangerous at times?
Well, thankfully the area that I was in, the Serengeti, I wasn't too far from where we were.
Yeah, the Ngorongoro crater.
Aye, that's right. But that's all cordoned off, thankfully. But snakes, absolutely, and those big black ants, driver ants, scorpions, baboons, they were up in the rocks.
Baboons dangerous?
They can be if you go anywhere near them.
Yeah.
Aye. They used to steal the papaya off our trees. So if you went to chase them off, they'd come chasing for you. But those were the kind of, and then of course the mosquito and malaria.
Yes.
Still the number one killer disease
in the world.
In Africa.
Maybe in the world, yeah.
And I was...
You got malaria 8 times?
Eight times in the 9 years, yeah.
What is malaria?
So basically it's a parasite from the female mosquito. Bite you, suck your blood, inject that parasite into your bloodstream.
So it's a living thing?
It's a living thing, yeah. So
is it a virus?
Yes. No, it can't be. The only way it can be spread is through blood.
Okay, so it's biological.
I can't give blood.
Right.
You
can't?
No. So even though I've been out of Africa now 13 years, but I wouldn't risk it, But
so it's a parasite in your blood?
Yeah, and it could actually kick in here in Ireland. Thank God, touch wood, now it hasn't. But if I felt run down or my immunity is low, that's how it operates. The malaria then, it kicks in.
So your malaria is dormant?
Yes.
So it's within you?
Yes.
And it can be flared up?
Yeah.
With a low immune system? So once you get malaria, you always have it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's what happened. That's why I got it. That it kept reoccurring.
Reoccurring is what it happens is then. Yeah. And what happens when it reoccurs? What are the symptoms of malaria?
Oh, right. Okay. Well, it's severe flu symptoms, aches in all your joints, sweat and fever.
Fever?
You heavy fever now. Sometimes you can be coming out this end, vomiting. Sometimes the other end too.
Right, so all sorts of everything.
Flying out everywhere.
Everything.
You don't know where to go.
Yeah.
But if you don't get the right treatment, then it moves to the brain, cerebral malaria. And then after that, it's usually lights out.
Lights out when it gets to the brain.
Cerebral malaria in the brain. So I was.
And how do you treat it?
To get to there's obviously different treatments. Back then, the last resort treatment was quinine. So a 4-hour quinine drip, 3 of them in the hospital. And if I didn't, I've got that, I would be dead, And I buried so many.
Oh, did you?
So many who died from malaria.
Who couldn't get the treatment?
Yeah. 6-month-old baby in a cardboard box. died from malaria.
Yeah.
And back then you're looking at the cost of it, $5 our money, but just
almighty.
access and things. Yeah.
I know. Were you ever very, very sick with it?
I was really ill at one stage in the hospital. Lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you lose a lot of weight? Yeah.
I'm 13 stone now, and I was down to 10 and a half. So there's no, you can see it wouldn't be a lot to Frankie D when that happened. But
you're 13 now.
Aye.
All right, 10 and a half is not much left of you then, yeah.
Yeah, my father, Lord have mercy on him, when he met me at the airport when I came home that time from my break, he says, son, you wouldn't need to walk over a cattle grid because you'd fall straight through it.
Right, don't put on a colander as a hat, or his head will come through. What was I going to say? Yeah, okay. I'm just thinking that I wrote down movie here. You're so far. I'm exhausted already listening to your life story, but because your story would make a great movie about a young priest. I think it would. So far, it's great. Actually, a friend of mine went to live in Tanzania, and he married a girl in Tanzania, and she was a princess.
Oh, okay.
And I think there were dowries involved and everything.
Yes,
so like
that's right.
cows
They
and
are.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
So the cows would have been given. He would have given them to him, or he would have been given the cows. Was he?
He would have given the
give
father of
them
the princess
the cows, and he built a hotel there and stuff, kind of a lodge.
Okay.
And but he talked quite a lot about security.
Yes.
And there were a lot of bandidos around.
Yes.
So he had to have armed guards. So there would be armed guards in the thing. So there's guys with guns, and there's robbers, and there's serious kind of crime going around there as well.
There is, especially in Nigeria where I work now, very, very challenging. It is. I mean, there's corruption everywhere in the world. Nigeria would be up there. It's in Ireland as well, sadly too. However, we would have security men now in our compounds.
Yes.
And the whole Islamic fundamentalist Sharia law and Christian, that's all going on in Nigeria.
Boko Haram.
All of that, exactly. 6 months after I left St. Michael's in Kontagora, the parish there in Nigeria, it was attacked, and priest that took over from me had to go into the bush to hide, Father Dan, and our 2 security men were sadly murdered, and they burnt the mission house to the ground and tried to burn the church to the ground, but thankfully it remained so, and it's still out there, very volatile. We don't hear the half of what's going on, Mario.
We don't hear anything, of course. No, it's not news here.
Yeah.
We shut Africa out completely. Africa is just, and at the same time I'm watching a brilliant documentary at the moment, which I'm nearly finished, by the BBC called Human.
Okay.
And it is the story of Homo sapiens from the very beginning. And humans, all of us, every one of us originated in Africa. They used to think it was East Africa. Now they're thinking that's even earlier. It could be Northwest Africa that we started.
Right.
But we are all Africans.
Right.
We are all Africans. Every Homo sapien here is me and you. We're all Africans. So you're merely returning home when you go there. But amazing. Yeah. Now, what this story hasn't even started yet. And because at 40 years of age, you decided, all right, Frankie D, that's enough for me now. JC, you've been great. But, I'm not leaving you, JC. JC, no, my child. You did this to a woman in Derry before. Now you're doing it to me. JC, it's nothing personal, right? It's not you, it's me, right? So you broke it off with Jesus.
Not with Jesus, with the Catholic Church as such. And
at 40?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I went through a period of, obviously, discernment is a big change to leave the priesthood. Bottom line, loneliness.
Yeah, okay.
Very lonely. When I joined,
is this the same
loneliness?
Is this the same loneliness that was this the same loneliness which started as a tear in your eye with joy? Homesickness, loneliness?
No, deeper.
Deeper.
Deeper. That connection with another human. Yeah.
Another human.
Close connection.
Yeah. And you mean a connection with probably a woman and maybe ultimately a family?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You felt an instinctive yearning for this?
Yeah. When I joined, I was 18 and very young, obviously. And I was the youngest within the order at that time. And when I was 40, I was still the youngest. and looking down the road, the average age was about 120. And it just looked a very lonely setup within...
What was 120?
The average age of the priests down the road. They're all, it's...
You're joking, they're not 120.
Aging church.
Yeah, but they're not 120. No, but they just seemed 120.
Well, they're all 60s, 70s, 80s.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And you just...
And I felt, am I going to be the last man standing? And I just felt, no, I gave God my youth. As somebody put it to me, 18 to 40, and there's another chapter, and as I say, it is a very, well, for me personally, obviously everybody's different, but it was the loneliness at that stage and the opportunity of meeting someone and having a family, which happened then.
So what did you do? How did you stop being a priest? And what's it like stopping being a priest? Do you just take off your collar one day and just go, right, lads, I'm off for a walk? And... well, where are you going, Father?
There's a kind of...
Don't call me Father. I'm Frankie, right? Not Father Frankie, just Frank.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened there. You go through a period of, as I say, discernment, retreat, and spiritual direction. I did a bit of counselling as well around it for myself.
Yeah, as in detachment counselling, kind of. Yeah,
and all of that, and that's it. Then you walk away, and then you have to
reinvent yourself.
Right to Rome and apply for laicization.
Okay.
Which isn't a very nice kind of process, to be honest with you.
Why?
Because basically what that program, or what it states, you have to sign a document that says that you never should have been a priest.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like an annulment in a marriage.
Okay. It never happened.
Yeah. And like from 18 to 40, I gave my life.
I know.
Service.
So their official policy doesn't want to, it's a red card.
Yep. It's not nice. It's not nice now, to be honest. And there's over 100,000 folk like me left.
Oh, I see what you
mean.
That's not nice.
And that's so. But in order to be married in a Catholic church, you have to go through that process. So you do, of laicization.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, after that, you rightly said reinventing yourself.
And what did you initially do to reinvent?
I did some more retreat work in schools and that, and then I taught for a bit, and then I was thinking
Taught in school?
Yep. I did. I went to Glasgow University, started a master's in HR. Somebody said, God, Frank, you'd be great at working with people, HR. Anyway, quickly learned, no, it's not for me. So exited that and got a job then working for a charity called CAFOD in England, would be the equivalent to Drogheda in Ireland. And then I met a girl from Kildare. We got married. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. Okay, it's
first marriage.
Yeah. Anyway, life is not straight lines at all. Life is,
without getting too personal about it, and without trying to pry on your relationship, was there anything that linked? Was the reason that it mightn't have worked out anything to do with the fact that you were exiting the priesthood and maybe not ready for it yet, or was it a different matter?
Yeah, I think so, and it all happened very quickly as well.
Do you get my point?
To be honest, I do.
Was it something to do with that?
Very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, not like, when somebody goes, I'm on the rebound or whatever, and you go, no, that's the wrong time to be trying anything. So it was it possibly wasn't the right time, maybe. Yeah.
I think now when I look back, but as I say, I have two beautiful children from that marriage, and we make wrong decisions in our life that lead us to the right place where we are now. And I know I am exactly where I'm meant to be now. And that's the journey. Life is crooked lines, there's swings, there's roundabouts, there's potholes, good days, bad days. There's no such thing as perfection.
Of course not, no.
At all, Mario. And that's one message, I especially when I'm working with young people, with the Instagram and all these things, perfection does not exist. There are no perfect families. There's no perfect marriage. There's no perfect mommy or daddy. There's no perfect work manager. But there are perfect moments in life. And I wish everybody that I meet, I wish them perfect moments. But perfection doesn't exist. We're not called to be perfect in this life. For me, I think we're called to be authentic.
Yeah.
To be real.
I often tell people when I get into these conversations, my story, and which is basically I had a very, very unstable upbringing, with two parents who constantly fought, sometimes violently. There was drink involved, and they were splitting up and getting back together all the time. It was very, very unsure, unstable. We used to live with them, not live with them, live with the grandparents. I grew up with my grandparents, all that thing. So what it led to for me, though, was as I grew older and met my wife and had children, in relation to that part of my life, it led to a real deep-seated ambition that I wanted to break that chain, that I wanted to become, really invest in myself, and invest in my own personal vision in myself and my family of me being a dad. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean being star of the show dad, like on stage. Mm-hmm. Just me personally, quietly being a dad. And I wanted to be a great dad, and I want to be a great dad, but I didn't make the mistake, and I was lucky with this, I didn't make the mistake of trying to be a perfect dad, because I actually took quite good advice from my own upbringing, and I went, what was it about my upbringing that it lacked? And it was, well, a lot of the time they just weren't there, and I went, I'm going to be there. Everything, for everything. Yeah. And that's all you need to do. Be present. Yeah. Be present, be present, be present. Be there for them. If they need you, be there. Make sure they know you're there, because that's going to be the most important thing. Make sure they know you want to be there. So they know you want to be there and you're there. You're not laying down the law or trying to be, Captain Von Trapp from the Sound of Music, or Howard Keel from a thing, the greatest dad in the world. But you're their dad who's always there, and you'll only be their only dad. And so, and that's what I learned. There's no point in trying to be perfect. Do your best, but be there. Yeah. And that's what I've had the joy of participating in with my thing. But like your story again takes another, all right, now what we've got Lavey, we've got Derry, we've got Gaelic football, All-Ireland club medals, we've got joining the priesthood, we've got Catholic priests playing football, saying prayers in the thing, we've got singing Joxer Goes to Nigeria out in Africa, we've got kids giving birth in vans, we've got tears of joy and homesickness, and we've got polio and 8 times malaria and down to 4.5 stone, the size of a jockey, and your life is already mad enough, and then suddenly you're on the coaching team or the backroom team with Brian Kerr's International Ireland football team. For those of you who don't know it, that's Brian Kerr who talks like that. He's kind of got the squinty eyes, and he's kind of, remember the Robbie Keane, Damien Duff, and then he managed Ireland, and he's always kind of like smiley like that, and he had great success with the under-18s and the under-20s, and you were part of this team. How were you part of this team?
Okay, what year was that now? It was in 99. I was in Nigeria at the time, and whenever the Nigerian under-20 World Cup was on, and the Ireland team were out there, and they contacted the SMA fathers in Cork, and Father Peter McCovell went out with the team as the chaplains. When I arrived then, they invited me to come down because I was like a young fella, and absolutely when I came down, all these young lads here, and someone says, God Frank, you can mix in well with these lads, because I was fresh faced, only just ordained and all the rest. And I had mass with the lads 2 or 3 times. That was during Holy Week, and sessions with the guitar. I don't drink, but the crack we had, Robbie Keane, Damien Duff, Gary Doherty, Richard Sadler. Mm-hmm. Richie was there. I haven't seen him since. He's doing great. And Brian Kerr, a legend, absolute legend. And so everyone was going great. We were in the stands singing the whole thing with African drums and all the rest. And they qualified for the quarter-final, which was... those games took place in Ibadan in Nigeria, but the quarter-finals were up in Abuja. So that was like a 8 hour drive. So we had special regional meetings going on, and the lads I wanted to go obviously as well, but unfortunately my superior at the time says, no, Frank, you need to stay here for these meetings. So I missed the quarter-final. Rule of obedience, and they got beat on penalties. Unfortunately, and they were knocked out then. But I've kept in touch with Brian Kerr.
Have you?
Met him a couple of times. He actually got me tickets for a Brazil game.
Did he?
A good few years ago.
Yeah. There's a man who loves his music as well.
Ah, okay.
Oh yeah, he's mad into like you'd never have suspected it, you know.
Right,
Like,
yes.
because he's mad into indie music, you know, and these indie bands and everything, you know.
Aye.
So
Yeah.
yeah, he loves his music.
And Duffer sent me a signed, was it Blackburn Rovers jersey?
Yeah.
He's gone back now.
Yeah, he's playing for Blackburn, yeah.
Aye, when he was playing there. And Robbie Keane
And Robbie,
sent
yeah.
the jersey.
Robbie fucking Tala, yeah. Oh, yeah. Robbie's a great fella altogether. Love Robbie. Love Robbie's voice. Oh, he sounds as if he's about to do something really dodgy. Or that he's done something really dodgy and he's saying I didn't have nothing to do with it.
That's right.
You know, he says one of those voices that sounds like if he's been accused of something.
You're right.
You know?
I did nothing. I was never there. It was Duffer.
Duffer.
Duffer did it.
But what about, I never said you did anything, Robbie.
Yeah, well, whatever went down, I had nothing to do with it.
But nothing went down, Robbie.
Yeah. They all say that until something goes down, then I'm getting the fucking flack. Yeah, finger comes down on me. Look, I had me barrister. I had me brief. I'm saying nothing. I
Nobody accused you of anything, Robbie.
didn't say you accused me. Saying it's just around the corner. Danger.
I always see him as a person who's
I know,
yeah.
right.
I started doing that impression once in a big going away thing for the Irish team, and Roy Keane then came in with all the team. It was Martin O'Neill and Roy Keane. Martin O'Neill, Derry man.
Yeah.
I started doing Roy Keane in front of Roy Keane, and he was kind of looking at me, and there was a huge crowd there, like 2,000 people, and but then Robbie was sitting beside him, and I started doing Robbie. As soon as I started doing Robbie, Roy Keane burst out laughing, and Robbie's there. What are you laughing at? And as soon as Roy started laughing, the whole crowd started laughing.
Then I kept doing Robbie.
And then the whole crowd are laughing at Robbie.
What the fuck is everybody laughing at? What did I do?
One of those ones. So so you're playing guitar, singing songs with Brian Kerr, Robbie Keane, and Damien Duff. My God. And then, like, you've had 2 children, and one of your daughters, I hope you don't mind talking about this, one of your daughters has Down syndrome. Wow, that is a life changer.
Yeah.
That is a life changer. Tell me about that experience. Leisha.
Yep, Leisha. It's funny. Yesterday was her 10-year heart anniversary.
Of open heart surgery.
Heart surgery. So,
Is that because of a natural defective?
Yeah. Whenever she was in her mommy's womb, we went for the big scan, the 24-week scan, the anatomy scan in the Coombe Hospital here in Dublin. And that scan showed up 2 holes in Leisha's heart, leaking valve, fluid around her heart and lungs, and a 1 in 3 chance that she may have Down syndrome. So they didn't know what to do there and then. So they kept them in the hospital and monitored each day. So thankfully we got to a further 10 weeks down the road, so 34 weeks. And then we were in theatre for the C-section. And they had the 3 surgeons ready to operate on Leisha when she was born to drain away the fluid around her heart and lungs, otherwise she would have died. And the first miracle happened. When little Leisha was brought into this world, all the fluid around her heart and lungs drained away by itself, and she didn't need surgery at that point. And then, for me, the second miracle happened. Leisha has Down syndrome. So when she was 1 year old and strong enough, she went to Crumlin, and she went through 8 hours of open heart surgery.
Wow.
Under Professor Mark Redmond. I mean, you talk about legends. Such a humble, brilliant man. Okay. And thank God, made a great recovery from that. But I mean, without doubt, Leisha and my youngest brother Peter has special needs, but they are, and all those with Down syndrome and additional needs, they're the greatest gift that God blessed this world with, because they teach us everything that's important about life.
Tell me.
Well, the first thing that they teach us is how to love. They love you no matter what. If Leisha came in here now, she'd come right over to you, Mario, and give you a big hug.
Yeah.
And she'll say, I love you.
What you're saying is they're smashing through the barriers that we build.
Yes.
And the labels and the artificial branding and the barriers that we create around ourselves from the time we're born.
Yeah.
And they don't have them.
Yeah. No, they don't. They don't know us.
And so they show you
don't know how to judge.
Unbridled, unconditional.
Yeah.
They show you the value of unconditional love.
And resilience is the other one. The name, actually, Karina is her older sister, but Leisha, I like the name Grace. So I was thinking about, Grace Diamond. And Ruby, somebody says, what are we calling her? Ruby.
Wow, nice. Ruby Diamond.
It's a Ruby Diamond, but I'm not sure. It might be a bit too much. But Leisha.
Bit racy.
maybe.
Especially if she, moved to America or whatever, and she went,
Ruby Diamond.
Sounds like somebody that Trump went out with.
I went out with a beautiful woman, Ruby Diamond, they call her. Bit racy, but she was hot.
Sorry, I'm bringing this to a
you're
different
right.
place.
So Laoise is the Irish for radiant warrior. So
Wow.
That's it, boy.
Not just a warrior, a radiant warrior. Laoise. And it sounds lovely as well.
And she teaches me resilience and so much every day. Like, for example, Mario, if I take my phone out and Laoise's around, she goes like this here. She'll go, Daddy. And she's telling me...
She knows phones are bad.
To put the phone away. That's what she's telling me. And I do, and I put the phone away.
Yeah.
And she's like saying to me, I am here now, Daddy.
Correct.
Be present to me.
Be present.
Be present to me. What a lesson for all of us as we spoke about being present.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And she teaches so much, basically. She doesn't know how to judge.
Yes.
We're so hard on ourselves. Like, we beat ourselves up so much. We judge others. But Laoise and those with Down syndrome and different needs, they don't do that.
What age is Laoise?
She's now 11.
11, yeah.
And like I always say, I've 2 more daughters now, thank God. I've been very blessed.
Karina.
And I've a partner and 2 daughters now since all that break up and that, But I know Frozen Inside Out. So the song, Let It Go. Yeah. Let it go. See, let it go, and away you go.
Yeah.
But we hold on to so much, but they don't. And judging others, like she's saying to each of us, try not to be so hard on yourself. You make a mistake, you learn from it, you drive on. You don't need to keep going back. Judging others then. We're devils for it in this country.
We are.
For example, somebody down the road builds a nice house, Mary and Michael. You're going to have 2 reactions in the community. First one, fair play to Mary and Michael. Worked hard, saved a bit of money. I'm delighted for them. And then there's others, and they'll be going, here, come here. Where did your man Michael get the money to build on a house? He's up to no good, Don boy. He's pushing cocaine in around the town. Begrudgery, alive and well.
Bono has the famous story about the difference between Ireland and America.
Well,
he says in America you're driving past the big house on the hill, and he goes, the American will go, someday I'm going to be that guy. That's America. Mm-hmm. In Ireland, they look up at the house on the hill and they go, someday I'm going to get that fucker. That's the difference. Yep. So it's aspirational in America.
No.
Now, don't talk to me about America because it's different stuff's going on over there. But there is that natural optimism, frontierism, go get it. Well done to you for going get it. If you fail, get up on Monday and go get it again. Mm-hmm. And in Ireland, there's the tall poppy syndrome of whatever you do, don't fail. And if you do fail, you're fucked. And even if you do become a success, everybody's going to hate you anyway, because they're going to hate you for being a success, or they're going to question your success and thinking you did it wrong. Yeah. So you got to be,
I know.
So that's terrible. So what Laoise is showing us all is don't judge others either.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the purity.
Oh, the purity.
Yeah. Yep. And now you're working in ALPS,
yes.
ALPS, and that is All Lives Are Precious. Tell me a little bit about that. This is another movement in your life.
Yes, yes. So I've been with them now over 7 years. It's mental health charity, based in the north primarily, but we've partnered with a charity in Gorey and Wexford, Talk to Tom, which is now Futures in Mind. So basically, we provide counselling for those who need support on their journey. We provide QPR suicide prevention training around wherever. I go around. My main role is going around schools, primary, secondary, GA clubs, also the workplace, giving a motivational talk around mental health and well-being and resilience, sharing my own story. So I tie that in with a few messages around mental health.
Yeah,
and I love it. Love it. I'm very blessed, and this is, as I say, is exactly where Frankie D's meant to be now. And I bring the guitar, Mario, and I finish every session, wherever it is, with the great Bill Withers song, Lean on Me.
Lean on me.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because the hashtag of Alps is You're Not Alone.
Yeah.
You're not alone. And that song for me just ticks every box. Yeah. There's always somebody to lean on. And mental health in Ireland, throughout the world now, and suicide, sadly, it's just so tragic, the numbers, and it seems to be getting worse. But the number one factor still to suicide globally is stigma And that's my number one role, is to
Stigma?
to break down the barrier. Lads holding on to it and not reaching out and just sharing what's going on for them. Just sharing it. There's a beautiful book, you probably know it, it's a movie as well, The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse by Charlie Maxey.
No.
Oh, I recommend it. And I'm not getting any royalties by recommending it, but I bring that book everywhere, and it's an animated movie. But one of my favourite lines in it is that the boy asks the horse, what's the bravest thing that you've ever said? And funny, it's in a Winnie the Pooh book as well. And the horse replied, help. Help. It takes courage and strength to reach out and ask for help. It's not a sign of weakness. And in our country, globally as well, it's still there as a sign of weakness, reaching out for help. So that whole lean on me, you're not alone. There's always somebody to reach out, to connect and lean on. Just get the gremlins out of the head. Always helps.
Well, what you're doing, Frank, is you're actually transferring from your previous incarnation as a priest. You're transferring the best of Christian, what I would call Christian values. Because all of us can disagree or agree on religion and our deities and gods all over the world. But you can't deny a basic Christian tenet, which is do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and be good to people and be kind to people, and be them to be kind to you. To be kind to each other is one of the most fundamental Christian values, and that's what you're bringing with Lean On Me and that kind of thing. And Frankie, you're so young still, and like I can't imagine where your next incarnation is going to come next. I just, you have to come back in 3 years' time and go, so Frankie, where did the astronaut thing come out of? Mario, I wanted to be the first post-missionary priest come Irish football guitarist to go to the moon. And I wanted to sit around the moon with my guitar, bring all the people who are leaning on me, which are quite a lot now, because ALPS has gone around the world, and I wanted to become interplanetary. So I can't wait for this to happen, because your story is halfway through. And
I got a bit closer when you're talking about on the moon. I climbed Kilimanjaro twice. I had mass on top of Kilimanjaro.
Did you?
Mario. Well, it was the quickest mass ever. Because the altitude sickness.
Yeah, you're out of breath.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. I'm out of breath.
It was the quickest one ever.
Let us offer each other the sign of oxygen. I know.
Yep.
What a fascinating life you've had so far, Frank. And you speak about it so eloquently and so well with that lovely South Derry accent. So thank you for coming in. And long may you reign, and good luck, and keep being as good as you are to people, and keep spreading the word of kindness around the world.
Thank you, Mario. Thanks, man.
And my thanks to Frank Diamond, charming person, for coming in and telling me his story. My thanks, of course, to Hum, our podcast sponsors, for being our podcast sponsor and helping us to get this out to you, the most important element of the podcast, my listener. Tell one other person if you like the podcast, and follow on all the relevant places you can yourself. I'll see you same time, same place next week.
The Mario Rosenstock Podcast. Thanks to Hum. Finance made easy when you shop tech, electrical, appliances, kitchens and much more. Flexify Europe Limited, trading as Hum, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.